Hello and welcome back to Fujit's Blitz with me, Fujit. It's day 2 of the professional round robin. We are rolling out with all the matches with Endgame. First off, they should be against APA. They are the current champions. We watched them last night and they resoundingly thumped their opponents. So Endgame have got a pretty tall order there. Endgame did lose their opening battles, I believe, last night against... who did they play against? It wasn't their opening battle, it was their second battle actually. They won their opening battle against TQT. They lost their second game against Rejects. So Tour 3, they're kicking off against APA. It's not going to be easy for them, if I'm being honest. It's going to be a tricky battle, that. So we're just going to jump into the room and ready up. We're going out on Castilla. We've got quite a bit of time. Now, I'm not the only one streaming. Okay, there are quite a few others streaming out there, so let's have a look at those. We have Wild Ones Helper streaming in English. He is following all the matches of TQT. Amunet also streaming in English. She is following Rejects. Me, I'm streaming Endgame. We then have Nino also streaming in English. He is following Ikra. We then have Robert85, the first of our non-English streamers. He is streaming in Spanish or Espanol, however you want to call it. He will be following the games of Crowley. We then have Ice Shot, who is streaming in Russian. He will be following all the matches of Ikra. And finally, but by no means the last, we have Pyroblast streaming in Ukrainian. He will be following APA. So those are all the streams. All the details can be found both in the game or on Wargaming's official Discord. So don't feel obliged to stay here. Unless, of course, you love my dulcet tones and charismatic charm. So we'll be going out in a moment. As I said, we're just waiting for the timer to run down. First map will be Castilla. We're going to have a look at a flyover, a bit of a overhead. See what we can expect. Although there's only 7 people watching at the moment, and I expect 7 of them are fully abreast of what Castilla looks like and how Castilla plays. So I'm interested in this game, to be honest with you. I'm interested to see how Endgame approach APA. More to the point, I'm interested to see how APA tackle Endgame, to be fair. It is, let's be honest here, I mean, Endgame it sort of went off the boil a little bit, but they're coming back. They've got a few people into their team and a few people into their lineup, so it's not standard. But we'll see how it all pans out, to be honest with you. Not in the room yet, but that's typical. APA not in the room yet. That's typical APA. Whilst we're waiting for them, let's have a look at the Castilla flyover. So that's the quick flyover on Castilla. We all know that map, but it's always good to have a bit of a flyover. We will have APA going off on the south spawn, Endgame on the north spawn. APA have already readied up. I'm just going to put the scorecard up. There's nothing there yet. I'm not going to put that there yet because they generally change when you jump into the game. We have Uni in the IS-7, Almeri in the AMX-M4, De Silva in an AMX-M4, Last AFK in an AMX-M4, Days, Yennefer and Object 3 all jumping into those Strav Ks. That's the tank they really like, APA. Moving over to Endgame, we have Pinchester in a Superconk, Milk in an E5, Pamantha, how do you say that? They've changed their names. Pamantha. So we've got Pamantha in a Superconk, Pariana, yeah, okay, Pariana in a T100 LT, Parole in an IS-4 or Parole, Pego in a Strav K, and Palfar in a Strav K. They've all changed their names, so, you know, just there to keep us on our toes. I think I'm pretty safe in saying that Palfar is actually Alpha. But there we go. So it's best of 7, so that's the first of 4 victories. So we've got a bit of gaming action to go. We're about to kick off in just over half a minute. Castilla's always an interesting map. Sometimes you'll get the clans being ultra aggressive, going through, sending those tanks up there, especially those Strav Ks, maybe up to the A cap area to have the big overlook with the AMXs, maybe pushing towards the B cap with the IS7 with overview there over the C cap. Endgame, well, they've got only one like real stonking heavy there in the IS4, which they could send to the B cap. All the rest are all, with the exception of the light, I'm expecting that light to get up to that C cap area and have a good look around. And everything else, well, it can sort of move around the map, to be honest with you. Let's see who's on what side. Well, at the moment, we've got APA on the right and Endgame on the left, and that is how it's staying. So there we go, look. Boom, boom, boom. Hit points, wow, the hit points are in favour of APA, but it's nothing to really mention. It's just over 1,000 at this level of the game. That's not massive, believe it or not. Let's get up high into the back of the map, as we normally do. We will see here that APA, well, they're not sending anything to the C cap by looks on it. They're sending everything over to the A and the B cap, whereas Endgame are doing the exact opposite. Their T100 LT will probably go up high. That is Piranha, or Pariana. Maybe going up onto the ridge, yep, to get those very, very well needed spots. And the Super Conks are overlooking the C cap. The Stravs, the IS4 and the E5 are all moving. Well, the E4 is at the moment, the IS4, sorry, is at the moment just overlooking the B cap. Here come those AMXs. Now, I did anticipate them coming into the B cap, but I also anticipated that the IS7 of Uni would be overlooking that C cap. So the B cap will be taken here by APA. Both the AMXs jumping in. The rest of the team are pushing around onto that A cap. Shots going across, but not able to reset. That's coming in from Pinchester. So Pinchester puts the shot in that Super Conk. Uni round on the IS7, trying to put shots onto Pego in the Strav K. He doesn't manage it, but Pego does get one back in return. The A cap will now be taken by... no, Almere is pushing out the A cap. And they're looking to push down onto Milk and get round these Strav Ks. Milk could be caught on a limb here in this E5. Object 3 and Almeria are going to give him a bit of a hard time and give him some hassle. The E5 is a great tank, don't get me wrong. It's got some fantastic armor. Milk jumping down into the water. That's not... that's helping him, but it's not helping him. And you can see there. And he's got to be mindful that the engine will get flooded. That's why he keeps popping out. Leaving that battle. Moving over. Wow. Daze is looking worse for wear. Down he goes. Endgame taking the first kill. Uni is looking worse for wear as well. Pamantha and Pego are really harassing here. They're harrying. De Silva is looking very, very worse for wear. And Pinchester does take him out. Great shot from last AFK coming into Pinchester though. Object 3 now trying to push through. Down goes Pinchester as Uni and Emery and Object 3 all join up. Palfar now looking worse for wear. Great shot into the back of Object 3 by Pariana there. And Palfar may be able to finish off here. He will load before Object 3, and he does. So, 3 tanks down a piece. And now is a bit of a counter push from both teams. Pamantha there is being focused by Almeri and Yennefer. Parol is coming in, but Pariana comes in to try and block those shots. Palfar is also coming in. Down goes Parol, but at the same time, down. Another one went down as well. I think it was Pego. And so now it's 2 against 2. Hit points are actually in favour of Endgame, but only ever so slightly with Piriana. Yennefer will finish off Palfar, or should finish off Palfar here, and they do. And at the same time, Piriana finishes off last AFK. It's light tank against Heavium. Yennefer versus Piriana. Piriana here in the T100 LT. Against Yennefer in that Strav K. Strav K of Yennefer using as much of the terrain as possible to stay hull down and get the armor working. Piriana, well, we know that the T100 LT can bounce a lot. And it can. It has troll armor. And Yennefer will be trying to do everything that Yennefer can. At the moment, hit points are in favor of Endgame, but not the base points. Piriana managing to take the B cap, but Yennefer will go to the A cap. And oh, that's a great shot from Piriana into Yennefer as Yennefer makes a move towards the A cap. Piriana will cap the B cap, and at the moment, tentatively will stop Endgame from getting any points. Piriana will now move and rotate out of that position and probably go to the C cap, allowing Endgame to take 2 caps. Yennefer secures the A cap. Now, what is Yennefer going to do? Yennefer is going to make a move all the way back towards the spawn here. And Piriana managing to take the C cap pretty much unopposed, giving Endgame a double cap. But Yennefer has got to be mindful. At the moment, they are 300 points amiss. So, if this game were to end right now, despite the fact that Endgame have dished out more damage, APA would win it on the points. Now we've got Yennefer making a move towards the C cap. Yennefer will be looking to try and steal that C cap, and I'll guarantee you this, Piriana will be looking at the A cap, and Piriana is hoping to get to the A cap before Yennefer gets to the C cap. Yennefer is quite a long way from the C cap, and Piriana not bothering with the A cap. Piriana thinking that maybe Yennefer is still around here. Obviously, Piriana cannot see the stream, and even if they could see the stream, there's a long delay, so Piriana will not know that Yennefer is making his way ever so tentatively, well, as fast as he possibly can, towards that C cap. Yennefer also wondering, is he being lined up here for an ambush? Could be an ambush, that's the thing. Now the A cap is being taken by Piriana. Piriana here, jumping into the A cap. That is going to give much needed advantage to Endgame. And Yennefer now knows that they can get the C cap. So Yennefer into the C cap. But the 3 bases are now with Endgame for the time being. Is that enough to bring that deficit down? It's 100 points, near as darn it. Now it's only 80 points. Will that be enough? Well, probably not, because now APA will start getting those caps again. And now Piriana making a move towards the C cap, hoping to get round the back of Yennefer. Now Piriana does have the better view range, does have the better mobility, and more importantly, has the DPM and the hit points. But at the moment, it's 28 points in it. Oh, and Piriana gets a great shot into Yennefer. Piriana is going to make a move onto Yennefer here. And all of a sudden, it's all about Endgame. And Piriana does have the drop, does have the DPM, does have the hit points, has everything. Ooh, that's a bit of a low roll. But Piriana can put one more shot in, and now Endgame got the points anyway. It goes to Endgame. What a fantastic match that was. Wowzers, going down to the wire there. Endgame snatching the victory. What a fantastic opening round between these 2 behemoths on the EU server. Fantastic stuff to watch. Piriana knocking out 5k damage there in that little T100 LT and really bringing it home for his team. Yennefer, try as he might, also tried to bring it home for his team, but despite taking 3 kills, just was not able to counter Piriana in that T100 LT. Brilliant game, edge of the seat stuff. We're going to be swapping those spawn points now here on Castilla. APA now on the north spawn, Endgame on the south spawn. Endgame yet to ready up. APA, however, we have Uni in an AMX M4, Almeri in a Strav K, De Silva in the AMX M4, last AFK in the T100 LT, Days in a Strav K, along with Yennefer in Object 3. They're sticking to their Strav Ks. Moving over to Endgame, we have Pinchester in the Super Conk, Milk in the E5, Pamantha in the Super Conk, Piriana in the T100 LT, Parole in the E5, Prego and Palfar both in the Strav Ks. It is 1-0 to Endgame as it currently stands. Wow, that is an exciting first game. Now, I'm not going to change it when we go into the room. Obviously, Endgame is not on the left in APA, not on the right in the actual room. But when we get into the game, they are. So I'm not going to change it. So you just have to deal with it. Sorry if that's a little bit confusing. It's not meant to be. But that's just the way the game works, I'm afraid. So, game number 2 here on Castilla. Can Endgame take the momentum that they've just hardly earned with hard work? Can they take that into this next game? Or will APA come back with a plum? Now, APA have an ability to come back with a plum. They've been pretty much hardcore throughout this tournament so far. In fact, let's be honest, they've been pretty much hardcore since autumn. So already we have Last AFK in the T100 LT making his way out towards the A cap. Pego leading the Strav Ks, and we can see Periana there going towards the C cap, with the bulk in the majority of Endgame heading towards that A cap area. Last AFK is there, ready to get those spots in, going up high onto the little ridge here, waiting for them to come round. He does get the spots. There we go. Palfar gets spotted. Pego doesn't, but Alfar does on the cross. And if we just swing around, we can see the Strav Ks, Days, Almeri, Yennefer, Object 3, all coming in with the support to Last AFK, along with De Silva and Uni. And, well, the entire team of APA are here. Uni is making a push already. So pushes are going through already. Uni with the AMX M4 there, with De Silva just behind him. And then Days trying to get the crossfires onto Pego and Palfar. Milk and Parol are just down in those E5s. Pinchester in the Super Kong for Endgame trying to come in and get the cross shot into those Strav Ks. So it's a cross shot fest here. Pamantha, the Super Kongs of Pinchester and Pamantha trying to contain these Stravs. And Days is looking worse. Endgame get the first kill. And now Pinchester's got to get out of dodge. No, he doesn't. And down he goes. And so does Palfar. Back over this side, though. Palfar may be down. He may be out. And De Silva and Uni are looking very, very healthy. Endgame are now focusing Uni. Object 3 sees the danger, comes in, tries to help out. Milk is looking worse for wear here. And at the moment, Milk goes down. 3 tanks down for Endgame. And Prego is looking worse. 4 tanks down. Uni does go down, though. But now Parol is going to be feeling the pinch as Last AFK and Object 3 try to harry him. Last AFK is a one-shot. Parol will be looking to finish him off, and he does. 3 tanks down for APA against 4 tanks down for Endgame. Poor old Parol here is going to go down. Super Conk and T100 LT. Yennefer, that's a great shot from Parol. Even though he was being harried by those 2 tanks of Object 3 and De Silva, puts a great shot into Yennefer. And now Pamantha and Periana taking down Almeri. It's 3 against 2. Hit points, however, are firmly in favour of APA. And it looks like this one is going to go to APA. Now it's Pamantha in the Super Conk against De Silva and Object 3. Yennefer managing to hold on with a mere 3 hit points. But this one will go to APA. They level it up as we come out of Castilla. Wowzers. What to say? Unbelievable. What a great game. 2 absolutely fantastic games here on Castilla, and nothing between these tanks. Object 3 there churning out 4.2k in that Strav K, and joining up with De Silva together, all 8k damage between them, and the overall team did 17, so between them they did almost half of the damage, and that is what you need. We are now going into Naval Frontier, so let's have a little flyover on Naval Frontier very, very quickly. So that was Naval Frontier, and where are we going out on that next? The teams are just getting ready. We've just got about half a minute to go. As you can see, we already have APA readied up in along with Endgame. APA are on the Northbourne this time. We have Uni in the I7, Almeri in a Strav K, De Silva and Last AFK both into the AMXs. Days, Yennefer and Object 3 sticking with their Strav Ks. Moving over to Endgame, we have Pinchester in the VK72, Milk in a 60 TP, Pamantha in a Super Conk, Periana in a T100, Parol in the IS4, Pego in the Strav K, and Palfar in a Strav K. Those are the lineups. Naval Frontier is always an interesting map. Hit points are still in favour of APA. Didn't help them in the first game, but it did help them in the second game. But then again, their focus fire and their aggression also helped them in that game. Getting up high, as we normally do here on Naval Frontier, we can see that Daze and that Strav K is going to be looking for those early spots in the middle area. And Object 3 is going up high. He will be joined probably by the Strav Ks of Yennefer and Almeri, with the AMX. Oh, his Yoon is joining as well. The AMXs are heading towards that C-cap. Pamantha is just overlooking Piriana, getting spotted and smacked by Daze. And you've got Pinchester, Milk, Parol, you're all staying down, overlooking the sea, with Pego and Palfar going high in those Strav Ks. Daze is the isolated APA tank at the moment, whereas Parol is probably the most isolated for Endgame. Strav Ks here with Pego and Palfar trying to get those spots, trying to get those cross shots over there. But at this moment in time, it is all about APA. Palfar getting absolutely wrecked as he puts a shot in. He tried to reset the C-cap. I think he managed that, but in doing so, he loses half his hit points as the Strav Ks of Yennefer and Object 3 put a colossal amount of rounds into poor old Palfar's Strav K there. Piriana running around to the A-cap, but at the moment, APA have got that C-cap. That means it's all about Endgame. Endgame have now got to make all the moves. And at the moment, the way APA have stacked up their tanks, poor old Palfar gets smacked again. Although he does have the super conk there of Pamantha also coming in to help out. Daze has got out of his position. He tries to get some spots in. Piriana doing the right thing in the T100, knowing that they can't push onto the C-cap at this moment in time because the way APA have stacked their tanks up, tries to steal the B-cap in that T100. Daze comes round, tries to get the shot as Piriana tries to rotate out. He does get the shot. However, last AFK just missing. Pinchester in the VK-72 just overlooking in case they try to retake that cap. So the cap points now are in favour of Endgame. Endgame do have the cap point advantage. At the moment, they will catch up and overtake, and they do. Prego coming out of his position. Palfar and Pamantha will stay there. Parol just again on Overwatch. Uni trying to make a push forward, trying to bait a little bit to find out where the tanks are. He can see Palfar, he can't see Pamantha, and he can't see Pego. He can see Parol, and Endgame just retreating back a little bit. That's a great shot across the map into Pinchester by Uni, however. De Silva is on Overwatch as well, in case anything tries to get that C-cap. Now, Endgame here just consolidating their defense. They know that a push will come. Yennefer is by the A-cap. He can take the A-cap whenever he wants. And Pamantha is trying to rotate round. At the moment, Endgame are being bled. De Silva and Last AFK are now pushing. They consider that Parol, as I said, is the most isolated. And, big rolls going into Almeri, though. And still getting smacked around up there. But Parol here is going to get pushed left and right to Silva and, Last AFK. Uni is also coming in to join that battle. Parol here, very isolated, can't do much about it. Object 3 jumping into that B-cap now. And Parol looking worse for wear. And he's not going to last, and down he goes. Back over this side, Object 3 is now feeling a little bit of pain. But he has got Daze in support. Good shot coming in from Pamantha into Daze. Object 3 now being pushed. Oh, Milk going down. So 2 tanks down for Endgame. Only 1 tank down for APA. And now Uni jumping in, looking to put pressure onto Pinchester. Pinchester in the VK. De Silva will put pressure onto Pamantha. He will be joined by Last AFK. Pinchester can't really do much about this. And all of a sudden, whilst Endgame still have the points, they are losing the tags. Down goes Pamantha. Pinchester bouncing Uni there. So that was good. Pego coming in, trying to put some pressure on, trying to stop the cap from being stolen, but it's been stolen. He does take out. It's 3 against 4. But the hit points are in favour of APA. Down goes Pinchester. De Silva and Uni are still relatively healthy, but De Silva is incredibly healthy. They do have the points, Endgame, but they don't have the bases. Pego pushing onto Uni. Oh, he fluffs his shot onto Uni a little bit there. That may be disaster as De Silva puts one in. And it's all over anyway. Endgame stealing it in the points at the last moment. Again, another hard-fought battle between these two behemoths of the EU server. And, wow, going down to the wire yet again. and it looked like Endgame just needed a couple more seconds and they would have had momentum. Sorry, APA needed a couple more seconds. They would have had the momentum to probably take the game away from Endgame, but Endgame clinging on and managing to secure that win. 2-1 in favor of Endgame as we swap those spawn points here on Naval Frontier. We will now have APA on the south spawn, Endgame on the north spawn. Just waiting for both teams to ready up before we rock and roll into this next game. Endgame have readied up first. We have Pinchester again in a VK72, Milk again in a 60 TP, Pamantha in a Super Conk, Piriana in the T100, Parol in the IS4, Pego and Powerful both in the Strav Ks. Moving across to APA, Uni now jumping into an AMX, Almeri into a Strav K, De Silva into an AMX, and Ventium coming in for last AFK. We have Ventium, Days, Yennefer, and Object 3 all in the Strav Ks. Now, I knew this game between these two was going to be a hard-fought battle, but at the moment, they haven't disappointed. It has been brilliant. Endgame trying to come back on, to get their dominance back on the EU server after being away from the tour scene for quite a while. APA, well, they've sort of taken that mantle away from Endgame. They are the reigning champions both of the autumn season and the winter season, and they have literally been flying high so far for this season. So Endgame looking to spoil APA's party, however, never write APA off. Endgame, previously they were unstoppable, but this APA team has just been fantastic to watch. Anyway, let's get up high into the back of the map. This can go either way. APA will be looking to bounce back after that loss. Endgame will be looking to capitalize on the win. Almeri and the Strav K looking to get those early spots. Imperiana again from the other side in the T100 trying to get that early spot also. And they're just trying to outspot each other. Almeri knows that there's going to be a tank there. And now he definitely knows because he's been spotted. So he puts a blind shot in. It didn't land. Piriana didn't put a shot in. It does look like that, but he didn't. And you can see Pego in Palfar pretty much taking the position that we saw Object 3 and Yennefer take in the last, when APA were on that side. And Parol again, sort of mirroring. That's a great shot into Pinchester. And Pinchester again. This time he's in VK72. The T100 is rotated out. Uni dropping down towards the B cap, trying to force the hand of Endgame here. And no, he's not. He's pushing right through, trying to get around the back and trying to use the gun depression and the hold down capability to basically make sure that Pinchester focuses him, allowing De Silva to take the B cap. Milk, well, he gets smacked around a bit. De Silva does take the B cap. A cap will be taken by APA. Pamantha there in the Super Conk, not really as hauled down as he would like to be. Object 3 gets a good shot in. Uni and De Silva now pushing round. He has got Palfar in support as Pamantha, but he has got 3 tanks to contend with at the moment. Now Yennefer is coming in as well. Pamantha really getting wrecked here, losing over half his hit points. And Endgame are feeling the pinch a little bit now. They're under pressure. First blood this time goes to APA. Ventium now coming in. De Silva and Uni will push onto Palfar. Over the other side of the map, well, we've got Pego and Piriana pushing on to Days, but Pego's losing the battle at the moment, and Pego's got to be careful here. He could go down, and Piriana is looking to take out Days before Days takes out Pego. No, Pego takes him. Back over this side. We got to get here quickly. Now Pinchester, Milk, and Palfar hoping to catch these AMXs and Yennefer on the hop. The AMX is pulled away. They do get De Silva. De Silva is out for the count, but Pamantha goes down, Palfar's down, Milk is down, Uni is still relatively healthy, and all of a sudden APA, oh, I was just about to say, all of a sudden APA have got it all. It's 3 against 4. Piriana in that T100 LT, not able to escape. It's now 2 against too many, and APA will have this one in the bag. Parol in the IS4 jumping into the B cap. Pego is on 54 hit points. Parol is very healthy, but he's got a lot of tanks to contend with. And all of a sudden, well, he may have taken the B cap. The points are not on their side. And APA will be taking this one, even if Pego manages to survive the battle. Poor old Parol here, absolutely mullered. And Pego right at the back of the map, can't do anything about it. Points are against him, hit points are against him, guns on the battlefield are against him. All Pego can do now is try and get some good shots, and he does get a great shot into Almeri there, whittling him down to 400 hit points. But APA are only 70 points away from victory here, but they don't need it because Days and Almeri take down Pego. We go to level pegging for the next map. This is brilliant stuff. This is fantastic. And there you go there. APA Games throwing down that gauntlet, saying, look, you beat us in the last game, but we are going to come out throwing those punches, and we're going to give you no quarter. And no quarter was in fact given. We are now moving into Desert Sands. So let's just have a quick overview of that map while we get back and into the room. So we're back, and let's get back into the room. Let's get the scorecard back up. And unfortunately, I'm not seeing the YouTube chat, so because it's on the wrong side for me. So let's just pop that out and see if I can see it now. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I've missed the YouTube chat, but it was meant to be there, but it's not. It is there now. So anyway, we will have APA on the South Spawn, Endgame on the North Spawn. Uni and De Silva both in AMX M4s. Almeri, Ventium, Days, Yennefer, Object 3 all in the favoured tank of APA, the Strav K. Moving over to Endgame, they are on the North Spawn. Pinchester and Milk both into FV4202s. Wow, that's an interesting one. You don't normally see that in the tournament, so I'm going to be intrigued to see how they're going to play those. We then have Pamantha and Parol both into the IS-7s. Piriana into a Sheridan. Pego and Palfar into a Strav K. Those are the lineups. That is the meta. So, Endgame, wow, struggling with almost 3,000 hit points difference or deficit here against APA. Let's get up high, and APA will be seeing that, saying, well, you know, they've got FVs and we've got Strabs, so we've probably got a slight advantage, they may think. Days and Object 3 spawning out into the desert, and you will see Piriana, Milk and Pinchester in those FVs and Sheridan alike, pushing out into the desert area. And at the moment, Piriana is just trying to get those spots. Piriana not spotting anything at this moment in time. He does now spot Ventium in Days. So Ventium and Days have been spotted. ACAP will be taken by Piriana. The FVs now rotating out of the desert. Now they know that there's a lot of tanks going into the desert. Piriana will stay there. The IS-7s and Pamantha and Parol just overlooking that cross point and knowing that they can put blind shots down there, which is what they've been doing. They know the AMXs are probably there. Piriana now making a beeline out of the area of the ACAP, but not going too far, wanting to get those spots. Now APA will push forward, trying to get into the ACAP, and at the same time, Endgame, let's quickly get over there, because they're pushing down onto. Parol comes down him through. He will be joined by Pamantha, through him down. Now De Silva and Uni are springing into action, but Pinchester and Milk are there to try and prevent that. And all of a sudden, Parol and Pamantha, could they be too isolated here? Yennefer, Object 3 coming around, trying to look down onto them. Days will join them. Almeri is trying to put the cross shots in as well. And the mobility of these Strav Ks is just unbelievable. And all of a sudden, Parol, down he goes. And this is the thing. This is why you're seeing the Strav K being taken, because the Strav K has got great DPM. It's got great mobility. It doesn't have the best of armor, but the armor isn't too shabby. Milk is down, but so is Uni. So down goes Pamantha. The two heavies The two super heavies, basically, of APA, of Endgame are down. Pinchester now out on the limb, being chased down by Days and the Strav K, and De Silva in the AMX. Going to leave them back over this side. Oh, 4 tanks down now. Ventium is isolated. Piriano and Palfar and Pego will go down there, but these are the last 3 tanks for Endgame. And Palfar gets absolutely smacked. Hit points are firmly in favour of APA. They don't have the base points, but they do have the guns, and they do have the hit points. Pego is the most, well, he is the most healthy of all of them. But when you're dealing with this many Strav Ks, Palfar isn't going to win his battle. De Silva with the ram into Pego, and there goes Palfar. He's going to go down. He's got 50 HP. Down he goes. Pego will be next on the list, and Pego is not going to survive. Down he goes. We have just got Piriana left. It's one against almost everyone. Piriana, great Sheridan player, great Lights player, but even he will not be able to turn this one around, and this one will go to APA. APA now at match point against Endgame. 3-2, as we will swap those spawn points here on Desert Sands. And APA, they're showing that then the Strav Ks are preferred because of that mobility. And you've just seen how those Strav Ks, when they come in a pack like that, can just decimate an IS-7. Swapping the spawn points here, we will have APA on the north spawn, Endgame on the south spawn. Neither, oh no, I'm lying to you again. APA are going to ready up first, and we have Uni in the IS-7, Ameri in the Strav K, De Silva in the AMX M4, Ventium in Days and Object 3 all in the Strav Ks, and Yennefer in an AMX M4. Endgame, well, we're still waiting for Endgame to pick, but wowzers. Endgame finally readied up. We have Pinchester in the FV4202 along with Milk. Pamantha now jumping into a 215B. Piriana staying in the Sheridan. Parol jumping into an E5. Pego and Palfar in the Strav K. Endgame will now be looking to try and take this one away from APA. Push it to that decider and see if they can put the pressure onto APA. APA now will be thinking, we've just won 2 on the bounce. Let's make it 3 in a row and put this one to bed. So both teams will be going into this in try-hard mode. At the moment, APA are unbeaten. Endgame did lose against Rejects yesterday, but they did take their first game against TQT. So APA are unbeaten. Endgame will kind of be trying to look to change that if they can, but at the moment, APA are at match point. Again, big deficit between the hit point pool between Endgame and APA. Almost 3k again. That is quite extensive. That's like a tank. So APA will be knowledgeable of that, and they will think they've got a distinct advantage, and they do have a distinct advantage in that respect. So APA this time, Ameri and Ventium heading out towards the C-cap type area. Uni is heading towards the B-cap with Yennefer and De Silva just on the overlook. They have all been spotted though. Piriana in the Sheridan managing to get a lot of spots in, but the B-cap will be taken by Uni. And at the same time, Ventium and Almeri will jump into the C-cap, no doubt. Palfar and Pego, well, they were on Overwatch, but they're pulling out. They have got Pamantha and Perol just behind them. But all good shots going into Uni to try and reset the cap, and they do, but the C-cap will be taken. At the moment, cap points are in favour of Endgame. Uni's getting farmed a little bit, and he's losing a lot of hit points. Days has also lost a lot of hit points. So at the moment, Endgame have got the slight advantage. They whittled that deficit down already. It was 3k, now it's only 400, the deficit in hit points. So Endgame are trying to level the score up here. Now Yennefer is getting targeted, and Uni pushes through, De Silva pushes through, Yennefer pushes through. And Endgame will be looking to probably bounce back. Oh, loads of shots going into De Silva. And he just loses a shed load of HP there. And De Silva making his way towards. And this is better stuff from Endgame. And that would have been the hash rolls coming in from the FVs. And all of a sudden, the hit points are in favour of Endgame. That's how much they brought the deficit back. Pinchester is looking to come round and put a shot into Uni. Daze is sat at the back. No, he's not. Pinchester's going around. They're looking to take on Almeri. Prego gets a great shot in. Pinchester comes round. He's looking to put a HE roll into the back of Almeri. And he does. Gets a good roll. And all of a sudden, APA are on the back foot a little bit here. They've got the points, but they are about to lose their first tank in the form of Almeri. Down he goes. Over this side, now we've got them pushing onto Pamantha, Yennefer, Object 3, Ventium, De Silva, all pushing down onto Pamantha and Parol. And they need some support, but Milk is not able to support. Down goes Parol there in the E5. Now Pamantha in the 215B will be the focus of attention. And he is. Yennefer pushing through, De Silva pushing through. Pamantha is able to drop drop his reactive armor, and he has got great DPM, but even he can't take on those tanks. And just like that, APA counter pushes, and 4 tanks are down, leaving 3 tanks left, and all of a sudden, it's only 1, and it's Pego again, and this one again will go to APA, and it looked like Endgame were about to pull this one out of the hat, but wasn't to be, with APA consolidating themselves and managing to take that victory. What a great opening battles here on the EU server. Wowzers. Endgame and APA. Always going to be an interesting matchup, and APA triumphing here 4 against 2. Brilliant stuff. So congratulations to APA. Commiserations to Endgame. But boy, did they give us some show there. That was great fun. I'm going to leave the scores up for the moment, mainly because I'm going to jump in to see if we've got any more results. So at the moment, Rejects, they're out at the moment against Ikra. And you can see there they have turned over Ikra. That is the next game, by the way. Ikra against Endgame, or Endgame against Ikra, whichever way you want to look at it. So Rejects continuing with their steady and very determined, unbeaten role here on the Professionals Tour. We then have APA. We've just seen them, and they've got Crowley next, and again they're unbeaten. Turning over Imor 4-0, turning over TQT 4-0. Getting a little bit of a squeaky bum moment, as Alex Ferguson would say, against Endgame. But they're going to be very happy. They're unbeaten so far, going into their 4th game against Crowley. Akva, another one to watch out for. Well, Akva lost, unfortunately, against Rejects. They did beat Ikra 4-0. They beat Imor just 4-0. They will be facing TQT next. That is their next matchup in about 25 minutes. We then have Ikra. So Ikra not doing as well as they'd like. They beat Crowley, but since then it's been downhill for them. They beat Crowley 4-1. That stream just went a bit weird. So YouTube just went a bit weird there. Sorry about that. Can't do anything about that. And now, because I've got a long delay, just waiting for that delay to catch back up again. It will catch up. It's just gone a little bit weird as that happened. I don't know why it went weird. It just went weird. But these things do happen. We've still got time, so we're not missing anything, to be honest. We're not missing any amazing stuff at this moment in time, so we'll just have a look at I don't know what to look at really. Let's have a look at this game, might as well. Yeah, we're not missing any action, so don't worry about that. So yeah, one of the problems with the tournaments is that there's a big delay. So what happened was it seemed like the internet went down for some reason. YouTube went down, so it cut the feed from OBS. OBS then has to re-link up. There's a 3-minute delay on OBS. There's just over a 2-minute delay on OBS, so that takes a little bit of time to sort of catch up. And then there's a 1-minute delay on YouTube. So there's a 3-minute delay overall. So you're stuck with a sort of screen doing nothing at the moment, but you haven't missed any action. I'm just playing a replay now. You're not missing anything, and everything should be back up and running now. Yeah, so you've only actually lost about 30 seconds of the action overall. You haven't actually missed that much. It just seems that way because of the delay. That's all. But you haven't actually missed much, to be fair. It's just one of those things, you know, every now and then. I mean, sometimes you have a little glitch in YouTube, and it glitches just a little bit, and then when you get that little glitch, it kills the feed, and then once the feed is dead, you've then got the trauma of waiting for the delay to catch up, and that's the problem, child. It's the delay, nothing else, just the delay. So I'm going to check my Discord to see if I've got any replays been sent to me recently, because I haven't got any. I haven't got any replays realistically. I've got a couple of that I played yesterday, but they're not anything fantastic. In fact, no, I haven't got any replays, unfortunately. I wish I did, but I don't, so I can only look at the replays that I've loaded up. Some of them are okay, some of them are a bit meh. Let's have a look. We've still got a bit of time. I mean, they roll out just over the hour, so we've still got about 15 minutes before the room is available. So this replay will take us up to that point, and then the room will probably come up and we'll be able to jump in and still all that out. Again, this isn't going to be a massively long stream. There's only 2 games, to be honest with you. So it's pretty much like yesterday, where we'll be finishing around 30 minutes past the hour. So what'll happen then is I'll probably close the stream down and jump back onto Twitch and do some playing. You know, try and get some people to come in, do some countdowns, just have a bit of fun and stuff like that, and see if we can get something up and running on Twitch. See if I can grow my Twitch channel a little bit further than what I've done so far. which isn't much. And I was looking at some of the Twitch channels, and they've got some amazing, you know, some people have really gone to the trouble to sort of put loads of really funky, cool-looking stuff on their page. And I've been banging my head against the wall of trying to work out how you do that because I can't work it out. But I'm pretty clueless when it comes to Twitch, if I'm being honest with you. I sort of know more about YouTube and the requirements of YouTube than I do the requirements of Twitch. But you know, these things happen. It's all good fun, realistically. I really should have used more HE against that AMX. That was my bad. And I make a stupid move here, pushing onto a grill when I shouldn't have. But I wanted to take the grill in the T-54 out of the game, not kill them, just take them out of the game, so the guns are onto me, allowing my team to push through. We were on VC, and so why YouTube has just booted me again. And there's no reason for YouTube to boot. I mean, not really. Everything at my end is going fine. The internet is fine. There's nothing wrong with the internet. I've done speed tests. I've reset everything. And, you know, OBS seems to be churning out nicely. Yeah, I mean, my internet connection at the moment is 900 megabytes a second. That's going out lovely. OBS is going out beautifully. It's churning out 16 kilobytes a second, and it's saying everything is okay, but YouTube just keeps disconnecting. Well, that's YouTube for you. Can be one of those strange platforms, but again, you're not missing anything, guys. You're just waiting for the delay to catch up. That's all. You're not really missing anything. Not really. Nothing crucial. And once the delay catches up, you get to see everything all over again anyway. It's just waiting for that stupid delay. Because the delay is big. That's the problem. The delay is big. For 3 minutes. But at least I got past the point where YouTube was killing the stream completely. Because it hasn't done that anymore. But I had to sort of work some bits and bobs on that because YouTube was killing the stream every time that it booted you from it. It killed the feed. But yeah, I'm looking at the moment, and the feed from OBS to YouTube is 16,882 kilobytes a second. No drop frames, CPU usage of 20% and 60 frames a second. So OBS is fine, internet is fine. It's just YouTube being fickle, basically. And that's the downside. YouTube is just fickle. And now, because of the delay, you just have to wait for the catching up and the catching up and the catching up, and it should have caught up. And yeah, you'll probably jump now from that Leo game into the IS-7 game. There you go. It jumps straight in because of the delay. Yeah. YouTube. And there's no warning, by the way. There's no warning from OBS. None at all. It just goes thump. Because OBS is working as it's meant to work, so there's no actual warning. Normally you get a warning from OBS where the green bar turns very red, and then all of a sudden it says 0 kilobytes, and then you sort of see the frames just creeping up massively, and that tells you there's a feed problem. But it's not happening because this is YouTube killing the feed, and nobody else. Just YouTube kills the feed. And it's very weird how it does that. And you know, it's one of those things that you just can't legislate for that. When it happens, it happens. You just can't do anything. It probably is. There can be only one. There is high activity, and it probably is that. That's probably the reason why YouTube is just not coping, and then it just like boots the stream. But I'm keeping an eye on it. I mean, we've got nothing to go now, and it's doing it weird again. YouTube's being weird again. And again, it's YouTube that's sort of being weird. It's not OBS, and that's the thing. You know, OBS is not being weird. YouTube is being weird. But we've got a bit of a delay now because the room invite will come up in about 2 minutes. So we haven't got time to watch another replay anyway. So I'm just going to wait for that, and hopefully YouTube will settle down in that period of time. As long as we don't miss any of the game action, everything could be fine. It's when you miss game action that everything sort of goes a bit crock. But at the moment, everything seems... Well, I said earlier, OBS is fine. It's YouTube that's being the problem child. YouTube does have a tendency of doing this, though, on occasion. It is Thursday, so I don't know if there's anything major happening in the world that's driving heavy upload onto YouTube. I don't think there is, but yeah, everything's going out perfectly. So I don't know why it keeps dipping in and out like that. That's twice now, but all I can do is put it in the lap of the YouTube gods and hope and pray that it doesn't boot me again. It might do. Who knows? But, yeah, everything's looking healthy at the moment. Yeah, sorry about that. Don't know. Don't quite know why. So we should have had the invite. There we go. There's the invite. This is Ikra against Endgame. We're going out on Port Bay. So we'll just wait for a while, wait for it to run down, and then we can do the quick map flyover. Because we're going out on Port Bay, we'll have a look at that, see how that's working. By the time we've seen that, by the time we've looked at that, it'll be time to jump into the room properly. We can see their meta and we can see their lineups. Yeah, it could be the bandwidth in the region, henchman, but at the moment my bandwidth, as I said, is 900 megabytes a second, so it's not strictly an internet problem. It could be a service provider problem. I mean, that does happen a lot. I mean, you know, whilst the bandwidth over here and the internet connection is pretty good, because we pay a lot for it, to be honest with you. I mean, it's $200 a month. The service providers aren't exactly the best, let's say, to be honest with you. So it's a service provider issue more than anything else. And because it's a monopoly of service providers, it does present a problem because they don't really care, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's one of the issues that we do get. A service provider, you know, the ISP is not the best. But what we can do is, you know, muggle through it. That's all we can do. Muggle through it and hope that everything is good. Just the way you have to just deal with it. It's life, man. It's life, Jim, but not as we know it. So we're at the 3-minute mark. We can jump into the room. We can see that Endgame will be going out on the north spawn. Ikra will be going out on the south spawn. I'm not going to put the scorecard up yet, apart from I'll put the main scorecard up, which is that. But I won't put the names in yet because I don't know where they're going to be. In fact, I'm going to drop that again because we're going to do a map flyover very quickly and have a look at Port Bay. So that's the quick flyover of Port Bay. Now we can put the scorecard up and get ready for the rocking rolling side. As I said, we have Endgame going out on the north spawn, Ikra on the south spawn. Endgame and Ikra are both readied up. We have Pinchester in the IS-7, Milk in a 60 TP. Pamantha potentially in a 60 TP. No, he's staying in a 60 TP. Pariana in an IS-7, Parol in the IS-4, Pego and Palfar both into Strav Ks. Moving over to Ikra, we have Psychopath Yevgeny in a 60 TP, 322 Flame in a 60 TP, 322 Paz in a Strav K, Scalodius in the IS-7, Casa Nostra in the 60 TP, MP in the M6 Yo, and Vata in the IS-7. That's the lineup, that's the meta. We've got just over a minute before we rock and roll here in Tour 4, Endgame against Ikra. As soon as we're in, I can put the respective teams up on the scorecard. Can't do that at the moment because I don't know if Endgame are going to be on the left or the right, because everything is liable to change the moment you jump into the game. So Ikra will be looking to try and get a bit of a scalp here, but Endgame will be coming into this game knowing that they really need to win it, to be perfectly honest with you. So we will see how that one works. I mean, we've just seen Endgame. They played pretty convincingly against APA. Admittedly, the last 3 games did not go into their favour, but they were playing pretty nicely against them. They did put a little bit of pain onto APA. Not enough to worry APA, not really. And APA just, stepped up their game and put it to bed. So it'd be interesting to see what happens here. It looks like Endgame may be on the left, and yes, they are. So they are on the left, which means Ikra are on the right. There you go. We got it. We've sorted it. Let's get up high into the back of the map, as we normally do, following Endgame here. Keeping an eye out on YouTube at the same time. So Palfar and Pego in the Strav K is heading towards the, Palfar is overlooking, and so is Pego. Pinchester is overlooking the port area. Parol and Piriana pushing towards the middle. And there's 260 TPs, Pamantha and Milk just holding back, overlooking. Moving around the map to Ikra, where the entire team is sort of pushed towards that C-cap area. And we've got Vata in the IS-7 pushing out wide. The 60p of Cosa Nostra here coming through. He has got P322 Paz and 322 Flame with him, with MP just holding up the rear. Psychopath Yevgeny and Scalodius will jump into the C-cap, and that will give much needed information to Endgame. That will allow Pinchester to probably take the A-cap. And you can see the C-cap has been taken. Parol jumping into the B-cap, and at the same time, Pinchester into the A-cap. So Endgame are looking to get the double cap points here. Parol really keeping himself tied to that corner, making sure that nobody can put any shots in whatsoever. Grabs the B-cap, and the A-cap is also taken. Now, Ikra, they've got to be looking at pushing round, and they are, being led by Paz and Scalodius. Strav K, they've got Psychopath Yevgeny and Cosa Nostra just behind them. And they're trying to catch out Endgame on the hop. Piriana is there in the IS-7 just on Overwatch, making sure, and you can see there Pego and Palfar in the Strav K is also on Overwatch. Oh, Scalodius comes through and gets tagged by Piriana, Palfar and Pego. And now they're going to be making the push. Milk and Pamantha in their 60 TPs come round to help. Piriana is being focused, so is Palfar. 60 TPs of Pamantha, and Milk just waiting for these tanks to come hurtling around the corner. And when they do, they can put the shots in, and exactly what they did. Shots going in. Skolodius now looking very worse for wear. It's 4 against 3 over this side, but Pego is there to give some much needed support. So effectively it's 4 against 4. And now Ikra feeling the crunch a little bit. Just open that back up. Skolodius is down to next to no hit points. He's got to back away. Varta is also coming down to next to no hit points. Pego can see and sense that there's blood in the water. And the focus of attention is onto Varta. Down Varta goes. But Piriana has also gone down for Endgame. It's Casa Nostra, MP, and Flame try to push through the middle. They're going to be... Oh, another tank goes down. This time Pause. Parol there in the IS-4 is just holding the line. And now Endgame on the counter push. And they're trying to push. They're trying to get Skolodius out. And they're pushing round. Flame is very healthy. But Psychopath Yevgeny and Skolodius are looking worse for wear. And at the moment, it's 2 tanks down for Ikra. And only 1 tank down for Endgame. Although Milk is also looking worse for wear. And he's got to back away. They have now taken Skolodius. They've now taken Psychopath Yevgeny. And they're looking to put some pressure onto poor old Flame. Flame manages to take down Palfar. Pinchester is looking to put a big roll into the back of Flame, and he does, leaving 2 against 4. But Casa Nostra here is very, very healthy. However, so is Pamantha, and the points are firmly in Endgame's favour. So Endgame should be taking this one home, and they do. 1-0 to Endgame. So, nice little push there from Ikra, but Endgame were just waiting for them with those 60 TPs lurking there in the wings. And as soon as the Ikra guys pushed through towards the spawn of Endgame, Endgame 60 TPs sprang into action and were able to put a lot of pain and a lot of pressure down onto Ikra. Swapping the spawn points now here on Port Bay. We will have Endgame on the south spawn, Ikra on the north spawn. Teams are readying up, but they're not ready yet. Remember, it is best of 4. Best of 7. So it is the first of 4 victories. Endgame is ready at first. We have Pinchester in the 60 TP, Milk in the 60 TP, Pamantha in a Super Conk, Piriana in the IS-7, Parol in the IS-7, Pego and Palfar both into Strav Ks. Moving over to Ikra, we have Psychopath Yevgeny now into a VK90, Flame into a WZ113, Pause into a Strav K, Casa Nostra into a 60 TP. Yeah, I don't know how to say him. The Lav in the Strav K, MP in a 60 TP, and Varta in a T100 LT. So that is the lineups there. And I'm just keeping a big beady eye at the moment on OBS and YouTube, because it's been a little bit sensitive, for want of a better word. Anyway, we're going out. We have Endgame now, as I said, on the south spawn, and Ikra on the north spawn. 1-0 to Endgame. They are a quarter of the way there. Ikra will need to come out and fight back to try and level this one up going into the next map. Hit points are in favour of Endgame on this one. Not substantially, it's just under 1,000, but nothing like we saw with them against APA where they were under 3,000, but it's still an advantage. Endgame this time looking for a different strat. They're heading towards the C cap. Let's rotate round the map very quickly and see what Ikra are doing. Well, Varta's in that T100 LT. He'll be looking for those early spots if he can. He's going to try and get straight up there, and he does. And he's going to just park himself there, try and spot Endgame as they come round. He does. He spots Pego, gets a great shot in. That's a good early bleed there. And now Psychopath Yevgeny and the VK will jump into the B cap, and that will allow the rest of Ikra to jump into the A cap. This means that Endgame will be under the cap pressure this time, and Pego jumping in. You'll probably see Milk, Pinchester. Pamantha's going to join Pego. Just get that cap loaded up really quickly. The rest of Endgame, well, they're going to push around towards the spawn here of Ikra. Moving around the map. We can see Ikra pushing out. They're not going back towards their spawn. They've taken the B cap, but they didn't take the A cap. Varta will jump into the A cap most likely in the T100LT, which he does. And Ikra here looking to try and catch Endgame out. They're looking to try and flank round them. And they're pretty much consolidated. They will get the second cap. And that will put a bit of more cap pressure onto Endgame. Just had to cough. So, Endgame now stacking their tanks up. They're the ones who have to do all the move. Milk in the 60 TP is just on the overwatch to try and get those spots. He is in a big super heavy though, so it's not easy for him to spot. And the rest of Endgame, well, they're just pushing through the spawn of Ikra at this moment in time, being led by Parol there in the IS-7. Palfar, Piriana, Pamantha also joining. Pego just holding back, and Pinchester on overwatch as well. Parol is spotted. That is being courtesy of Varta there in the T100LT. And you can see Ikra are just stacking their tanks up just to defend their base advantage at this moment in time. Cosa Nostra there in the 60 TP is going to give Endgame a bit of a hard time. They've got all their tanks stacked up, overlooking. Oh, that's a great shot into Flame coming across from Parol there. But you can see that Ikra is stacking their tanks up. The Lav is just holding onto the boat barge, making sure that he's got shots if they come down. Endgame will need to push the A cap or the B cap. Pinchester is looking to put some pressure onto the B cap. Psychopath Yevgeny is there, and he has no support. Oh, he does. He has Varta there, but Milk is also there. Endgame slowly but tentatively pushing forward. And Pamantha going for it. Pamantha going for the B cap. The A cap. Pamantha jumping in. He has got the support. And gets reset by Cosa Nostra. Now Palfar and Pego in the Stravkes are going to push around onto Cosa Nostra. Psychopath Yevgeny is losing some HP there. And I just lost a load of ping. And all of a sudden, Psychopath Yevgeny is the focus of attention. Palfar should be able to take him out. And Palfar does. So first blood does go to Endgame. But Milk ammo racked by MP. So that is a biggie. That was almost, I think that was, I don't know if that was a full HP ammo rack, but it was a big ammo rack. Cosa Nostra goes down, and Ikra have got the points. MP needs to go down. Endgame are struggling here. They have got the points of Ikra. MP needs to be taken out by Palfar. Now Ikra will get this. Oh, he does. And now, but they've still got it. Varta jumping in. Pinchester puts a big shot into reset. But back over this side, it's all about, can Endgame finish these tanks off? Pos should go down. He does. Endgame all of a sudden get into the driving seat. They have got command of the game now. They have now got the points, and they've won it at the last minute. Wowzers. That was a big, big ammo rack on poor old Milk. We didn't see it because Milk was up high, but boy, Endgame surviving a really good push there by Ikra. Let's have a look at Milk. He only had 2 shots fired off him, so it was near as damn it a full health ammo rack, and that could have changed the course of the game, but it did not. As we move into the next map, which is Halas. I'm just going to drop that. We're just going to have a quick overview of Halas, and we'll jump back in. That's the quick overview of Halas. That's the next map. We are joining. This is the next map. It's 2-0 at the moment to Endgame. We have Ikra on the south spawn. They've already readied up. We have Psychopath Yevgeny in the VK90. Flame in the 60 TP, Pos in a Strav, Skilodius in the 215B, Cosa Nostra in a 60 TP, MP also into a 60 TP, and Vata into an E5. Moving across to Endgame, who have now readied up. They are on the North Spawn. Pinchester into a Super Conch, Milk into an E5, Pamantha in a Super Conch, Pariana in an E5, Parol in the 215B, Pego and Palfar both into the Strav Ks. It is, as I said, 2-0 to Endgame. So, hit points. Well, nothing really between them. It's 100 in favour of Endgame. That's not major, not at this level of the game, to be perfectly honest with you. Endgame will be looking to try and get to that match point here against Ikra. So we're going to get up high, as we normally do, to the back of the map. And we already have Piriana in the E5 heading out towards the middle area with overlook on the sea cap. Milk and Pamantha and Parol will be helping with support. Pinchester in the Super Conch pushing up. He's got support from Palfar and Pego towards that B cap. Cosa Nostra and Pos. Wow, Pos getting smacked there. Cosa Nostra coming out wide in the 60 TP. Flame just on the coverage along with MP. But the Strav K there of Pos feeling first blood as Pinchester puts a shot across in that Super Conch. B cap will be taken by Endgame, but you can see here Ikra are stacking their tanks up quite nicely over this side of the map. They do have Vata and Psychopath Yevgeny overlooking this side of the map, with Vata going up high. Vata is pretty isolated. Obviously, Piriana and Milk do not know that. He does have Psychopath Yevgeny in support, but if Milk and Piriana decide to push, then yes, okay, there is Psychopath Yevgeny there. Milk rotating out. Pamantha's coming in. So now Endgame do have tank advantage on this side. 3 against 2 effectively. Pamantha is looking to come in with that Super Conch. Haul down capability. Pretty strong turret to try and steal the C cap. That's exactly what... Oh, that's a great HE from Psychopath Yevgeny. But it's not going to be enough. It will reset the cap, but that's about it. Now they know that Psychopath is there. And 2 tanks now rushing in. Vata thinking, wow, you know, maybe I've got to help try and reset here. So that's exactly what they're doing. But it's going to be difficult to keep resetting that C cap. Over the other side, let's quickly get around there. Well, we have got Ikra taking a push with Cosa Nostra in the 60 TP, leading the charge. Flame just behind. Pos just behind him. And Cosa Nostra pushing heavily through. Pinchester and Pego and Palfar are all there, same as Parol. And Cosa Nostra is spotted, so is MP. And this is a big push coming from Ikra onto the endgame tanks over in this quarter. C-Cap still not taking. They're still trying to take it. Pinchester gets tagged. It's only an HE. He's in a Super Conch after all. Pego and Palfar maintaining their positions just in case. B-Cap has not been taken. Now we have Vata, who rotated all the way around. MP puts a great shot. No, it wasn't MP. It was Skilodius puts a good shot in. Vata getting caught by Pamantha there. Over the other side, Psychopath Yevgeny will go down. He is being pushed by Piriana and Milk. Skilodius comes in. Down goes Psychopath Yevgeny. So first blood does go. However, Pinchester down he goes as Ikra continue their push. Now they're going to catch out Pego and Palfar in those Strav Ks. And they've got to try and combine themselves. They've got 3 tanks pushing down onto them. This is a good move from Ikra. But Pego is going to grow and try and get MP out of the game. He does. That is a big kill. Cosa Nostra goes down as well. Now Vata here. Pamantha, Piro and Piriana looking to get Vata out the game. And this would be a good kill for Endgame if they could get it. They've lost Palfar over there. Now Vata has dropped his... Oh, but it didn't help him. Oh, Paro felt that. But as he did, the Pos went down. It's 2 against 3. Piriana is incredibly healthy. And hit points are now firmly in favour of Endgame, along with the points on the board. Piriana is leading the charge because he's got all his HP. Puts a great roll into Flame. Now he's going to push onto Pause, look to take Pause out the game, and he does, leaving Flame as the last tank standing. Flame can't do anything about it as Piranha finishes off 3-0 to Endgame. Impressive stuff there from Endgame. Really impressive stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a great little push from Ikra. They really caught off Endgame off the guard. But as soon as they did that push, Endgame made their push onto Psychopath Yevgeny. And they lost, unfortunately, Casa Nostra pretty early doors. 5 shots going into him. Good focus fire by Endgame. Swapping the spawn points now. It is match point to Endgame. They are 3-0 up against Ikra. Endgame will now be going out on their south spawn, Ikra on the north spawn. Ikra ready up first. Psychopath Yevgeny in the VK90. Pause in a Strav K. Scalodius in a 60 TP. Cosa Nostra in a 60 TP. The Lav in a VK90. MP in a 60p, Varta in a 113. Bit of changes though. The Hogarden comes in a VK90, and the Lav jumping into a Strav K. Moving on, the Hogarden maybe not in a VK90. So, nope, he stays in a VK90. Moving over to Endgame, while Pinchester potentially in a Super Conk. He is. We have Milk in the E5, Pamantha in the Super Conk, Pariana in the T100 LT, Parol in the E5, Pego in a Strav K, along with our Palfar in a Strav K. We've got less than half a minute to go before we roll out. It is match point here to Endgame. Endgame will be looking to finish this off now and take the victory home. Ikra really need to dig deep and try and bring one back if he can. However, it's against them at this moment in time. The rub of the green, as they say in golf, is in favour of Endgame. Hit points, well, that is also in favour of Ikra. Only by 600 though, so it's not massive. Is it enough? Can Ikra do anything here? Endgame, well, at the moment, are all consolidated. Piranha in that T100 LT is going to be looking to get as many spots as possible. Moving over to Ikra, well, Varta in the 113 jumping straight into the B cap. Piranha will be looking to grab that C cap as fast as possible. And Endgame are looking to push out wide. On a narrow front, actually, going through the middle. Looking at the C cap with just overview on that A cap. We have Pego and Palfar overviewing the A cap at this moment in time, just in case anything comes through. Pamantha and Pinchester and their Super Kong staying all down. Piranha stealing the C cap. But at the moment, Ikra do have the cap lead. Parol and Milk, both of their E5s, just managing to stay all down here. Hogarten is coming up in the VK90 with Psychopath Yevgeny just behind. Well, that's where we're standing at the moment. Now, Piranha is running around the map, going to try and get into the A cap. Let's just get over there. So, trying to get into the A cap. He's got Pego there, and now Pinchester's coming in to help out. So, Piranha, Pinchester, they will be looking to try and grab this A cap if they can. And they jump in. They have got the Lav and Varta there. Get a little reset. Cosa Nostra, though, gets a bloody nose for his troubles. And the A cap should be taken here because Piranha, there's 2 of them in there, and they have to shoot both of them to reset it. So both now pulling out of that cap. Piranha getting away with losing no HP. Hogarten over the other side of the map is getting pressured by Parol and Milk. They don't know that Psychopath Yevgeny is pushed out of there, but Hogarten is pretty much out on a limb here, very isolated. Milk and Parol can now sense that. They're going to push heavily onto the Hogarden. Hogarden here is feeling the pain. Parol will get behind. Milk will stay in front, and Parol will just farm off the back of this VK90. We will leave that. Piranha is pushing around, but we do have a push coming through from Ikra, as Cosa Nostra, the Lav, and MP, all in 60 TPs in Strav case, pushing on to Pego. Pego backing away. Psychopath Yevgeny and Skilodius. Great shot into Palfar. Palfar, down he goes. So Pinchester down, Palfar down. 2 tanks down for Endgame. However, they may have lost the cap points, but they have got the bases. Now we're looking to put shots into Cosa Nostra, who was very, very aggressively far forward. He's just pulling back. Manages to bounce Pego there. Pamantha will be looking to try and finish off here if he can. Oh, that's a good shot, and down goes Cosa Nostra as Milk comes in. And already the hit points are falling off Ikra here. The Lav is being caught out, singled and isolated. Pego dropping down to looking to put a big roll into the back, and he does! And just like that, Psychopath Yevgeny, Water, MP and Skilodius are the last men standing. It's pretty close still, but look at the points. The points are really next to nothing in it. Parol's got to be careful. Yevgeny and MP will both be looking to finish him off. And they're both loaded, and down he goes as Pego comes in. And Psychopath Yevgeny blocking Pego, but it didn't matter because down went MP. And now Pego has got it all to do against Psychopath Yevgeny. It's 3 against 3, but 4,000 hit points against 1,500 effectively. Pego will have the drop on Psychopath Yevgeny because he has got the DPM, and he will be putting it in. Down he goes. And just like that, Endgame take the victory. 4-0. Ikra still struggling a little bit. But impressive stuff. Impressive stuff. Ikra doing whatever they could. Some great counter pushes. But the focus fire and the rotations by Endgame just a bit too much for Ikra today. So, congratulations to Endgame. Commiserations to Ikra. Let's see if we have any more results. We may do, we may not do. So, if I just... you'll see my mouse doing weird things. I'm just going to see if I can load the website. And looks like I can. See if I can get this up and running. I can't at the moment. It's not showing. So the only results so far we've got, if this works, and it doesn't work, well, the only result I've got so far is Ikra have beaten TQT. So TQT's problems are still persisting. Rejects and Imor are still battling it out. So are APA and Crowley. And Endgame adding, obviously, to Ikra's woes. So Ikra, they'll be happy with that. Unlike TQT, will not be. So TQT still struggling here. Not having a they're not really having a nice professionals tour so far. TQT, they've basically lost all their games. However, Ikra have got APA tomorrow, followed by Crowley, followed by Endgame. So they've got a bit of a tougher final run in, to be honest with you. I mean, Crowley may step up a little bit, but Endgame will certainly be stepped up by that stage. And APA, well, APA's APA. So Ikra haven't got the easiest of runnings coming into the tail end of the tournament. APA, well, APA is still APA. So, I mean, they're still battling it out with Crowley there. They have got Ikra, Rejects, and Ikra. So they haven't exactly got the easiest either. I mean, Rejects are there, so Ikra, both Ikra and Rejects will be looking to try and book their place into that top 4. To be honest with you. So, again, APA doesn't have the easiest run in of the groupings. Moving down to Rejects. Well, Rejects, they're flying high at the moment. They're still out there, though, against Imor. But they've then got TQT, APA, and Crowley. They will consider that their biggest opponent there is going to be APA, to be honest with you. So they'll be pretty confident that they're coming into the latter part of the tournament with what they will consider a sort of easier rollout. Same goes for Endgame. Ikra, Well, Ikra now struggling, to be honest with you. They've only won one game, so they are struggling. They've got Imor TQT, and their final game is APA. Now they'll be looking to turn over Imor and TQT. Will that be enough? Probably not, because they've got that very tough game with regards to APA. So Ikra have only got 1 point at the moment. So they've got to win Imor and TQT. No other choice. Imor, well, Imor again. They've only got 1 point on the board at the moment. They're out right now against Rejects. Rejects, wow, they're flying high. So that's a tough game. They've then got Ikra, which they will need to win. Then they've got Endgame, and Endgame by that stage will be looking to turn over Imor. And then finally they've got TQT. So they really need to beat Ikra, Imor, and they really need to put pain onto Endgame. But they may turn over Rejects. If they can turn over Rejects, they still have that chance to grab that top 4. Crowley, well, Crowley, they are currently out against APA, so that's a tough game for them. They've won one so far. They lost to Imor and they lost to Ikra, but they did beat TQT. Now they're fighting against APA. Then they've got Endgame. Then they've got Akva, and then they've got Rejects. Crowley, bless them, have got the worst rollout of the tournament. They've got basically what some would consider the top 4 as their final games. So APA, Endgame, Akva, and Rejects, that's a really tough ending to their tournament. And on the grounds that they did lose to Imor and Ikra, their chances, to be honest, aren't looking great there. Endgame, well, Endgame have actually got 2 points, although they did lose to APA earlier. They have got 2 points. So far they've lost to APA and they've lost to Rejects. Those are the 2 top teams, if I'm being honest. APA came first, Rejects came second. They've now got Crowley, Imor, and Akva. They'll be looking to turn over Crowley and Imor, which will then give them 4 points. They may be able to give Akva a hard time, but Akva are just growing into the tournament. So when we look at that, I mean, you know, the TQT, bless them, still not off the mark, not able to find any firm footing at all. Losing to Endgame, losing to APA, losing to Crowley, and now losing to Akva. They've then got Rejects, Ikra, and Imor. So, you know, their chances of top 4 are over effectively. Best they can do, I can't see TQT beating Rejects. They may be able to turn over Ikra, but Ikra are a good team. I mean, you've just seen them against Endgame. Now, Endgame are playing pretty well, but and they may be able to turn over Imor, but that will only give them 2 points, which is nowhere near enough. So there's a lot still to play for, but some would argue that we're starting to see the top 4 now, and the top 4 potentially being APA, Rejects, Akva, and Endgame. However, I don't want to call that. There's still a long way to go in this tournament. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. I mean, as I said, the top 4 at the moment are number 1, Rejects, with 4 points as it stands right now. Akva are in second place with 3 points. APA in third place with 3 points. Endgame in fourth place with 2 points. Imor, Ikra, and Crowley all effectively joint 5th with 1 point, although Crowley and APA are still yet to be decided, and TQT yet to get off the mark, or as they say in Eurovision, they're on nil point. So looking at how the games are played today, Endgame 4-0 against Ikra, Rejects turning over Imor 4-1, and Akva turning over TQT 4-0. APA and Crowley are still battling it out, so we haven't got a result there just yet. Certainly not on the website. I don't know if we've got anything in game. No, they're still battling it out. However, it's not going to really change, as I said. Even if Crowley were to beat them, just means that Crowley will jump up into joint 4th place with Endgame, but they will actually be placed in 5th place because of their CP. That's all. So that means that the top 4 coming out of today should be Rejects, Ikra, APA, and Endgame. Quickly moving across to the challengers, because I'm intrigued to find out how my clan did. To be honest with you, we've got the challenges here. So unfortunately, it looks like Vale weren't able to turn over Noxu. No, they weren't. So Noxu beat them 3-2. So Vale will be disappointed with that, to be honest with you. So the grand finals of the other bracket is Who and Noxu. So Raid also coming a cropper by looks of it, not able to turn over Uzra, which is interesting. They beat Uzra in the opening game 3-0, and then lost to Uzra in the lower bracket final 3-0. So I don't know. Let's have a look how it works. So group 1, blah blah blah. 2 teams in the group only advance to the next stage. So Raid and Vale are both out of the Challengers Tour. That means that the Challengers Tour into the final stage is Who, Noxu, Pog, and Uzra. So that's pretty disappointing for the Challengers. Let's have one final look, see if we've got any results with APA and Crowley. No, we don't. They're still battling it out there. Let me just refresh the website before we disappear, because I'm not going to sit here waiting for APA. It doesn't. If they win or lose, it doesn't really change the outcome of anything. If I'm being honest, they will still stay in the top 4. There is no change currently, according to the website, to the game between APA and Crowley. Now, that is being streamed, so if you want to go and watch that, the streamer of APA is Pyroblast. Yep, and Robert85 has got Crowley. So it's either in Spanish or in Russian. So let's have a quick look. I can quickly have a look over there and see what it says. Let me just turn the sound off, and I will have a look to see what the standing is at this moment in time, to hopefully give you a bit of understanding what's going on. Pyroblast or Robert85 has got this game. I'm just waiting for this to ready up. It's 3-2 to Crowley. Wow. Wow. So, if you want to go watch that game, this is the link. That's the link to Pyroblast. They're going out right now on Fort Despair. APA 2, Crowley 3. So it's not going according to plan. It's not going according to plan here. Oh, it really isn't going according to plan. So we'll just stay with this actually for the moment, if you don't mind. I mean, you can't see anything because I'm not allowed to restream it. So all you're going to see is my garage while I try and talk you through it. So at the moment, Crowley are at match point as they go into Fort Despair. APA is stacking themselves up nicely. They are going to go down on caps though. C-cap will be taken by Crowley. I recommend, if possible, that you either go to Pyroblast or to Robert85. Both of those guys are streaming. So you can pop over there, guys. It's not a big deal. You don't need to stay on my stream. We've got no more gameplay, so the gameplay is all over there. Let me just get Robert's stream details. So I'll get Robert's stream details so you can go over. Oh, I'll keep those up just in case people. So. Yes. Yes, both of them are streaming APA versus Crowley, guys. So by all means, pop over there. At the moment, the game is pretty stagnant. So I'm trying to send you all over there to see. So remember, Pyroblast is in Ukrainian. So Robert is streaming in Spanish, as I said. Pyroblast is streaming in Ukrainian. You don't know, they're not. But you don't need to understand the language. So at the moment, APA are on the back foot. 2,000 hit points behind Crowley. Crowley with a great push onto the C cap. Wowzers. This is great. APA with a counter push though, trying to push down into the route of Crowley in the VK90 there. Oh, they take him down. First blood does go to APA, and that really has helped them out no end. But Crowley slowly trying to drag it back, but now they've lost Axion as well. 2 tanks down to Crowley. APA really pushing it hard. And looks like this one will go to a decider. Oh, I've spelled decider wrong because I'm rushing. Uni has gone down. But it's 2 against too many, and it's decider time. Wowzers. APA should get this one. APA should get this one. Decider time. So there we go. Guys, I really recommend that you go over and watch these last games if you're into your tournaments. No point watching me anymore. Get your backsides over to one of those two. So I strongly recommend going to one of the two streamers, guys. You don't need to hear the commentary. You can understand from the game, from just Overwatch of the game. You don't need to understand what they're saying. You just need to watch the games, guys. It's very, very close. I'm telling you, very, very close. They're into a decider, so seriously, get over there. So they're going out onto Winter Melanovka, which is interesting. And it's 3-all APA against Crowley. Crowley are really doing well here. They've taken APA all the way to, well, not to the end. Well, they have taken them to the end because, yeah, it is. So, yeah, Crowley are trying their best to turn over APA. Oh, Tokonami getting smacked there in an E5. Uni in the IS7 also getting smacked. And Crowley, very aggressive strat here. Very aggressive. They're trying to catch out to Silver and Almeri, and it's kind of working for them, but they've got to finish these tanks off as they're coming round, trying to put a lot of pressure onto De Silva. Oh, De Silva, down he goes. No, sorry, it was Almeri. Almeri is out. So now they can turn their attention to De Silva. And De Silva is feeling the pain. Yennefer, Object 3, Days, Ventium, all in Strafcase. 2 tanks down now for APA. Unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Uni is now looking worse for wear. He is effectively a 2-shot. But Memcola goes down. And down also goes Virulentus. Down he goes as well. So all but De Silva's out. Ventium's out. Almer is out. 3 tanks down for APA. 2 tanks down for Crowley. But the hit points and the base points are in favour of APA. Triple down he goes. So 3 tanks down apiece. Kakadu and Tokonami, though, looking very worse for wear. Kakadu will go down here. He's not going to last this battle. Object 3 finishing him off. 3 against 4. Down goes Yennefer. 3 against 3. But Tokonami being absolutely farmed by Days and Uni. Tokonami will go down, but so will Object 3. And White Carbon should take down Object 3. Should, in theory, take him down. And he does take him down. 2 against 2. Axion pushing on to Uni. IS7 on IS7. Axion should be able to take Uni here. Uni is a 1-shot. Axion is very healthy. Oh, Axion goes and takes him down. Days. Oh, it's a 1v1. APA have got the points, though. Days. 1,442 hit points in a Straf K, which has much better DPM than the IS4 that Axion is in. Axion, 1,936. He gets a great roll into Days. Days down onto 1,000 points. Axion down onto 1,600, but Days does have the mobility, and he does have the DPM. Axion is loaded. He's trying to get... Oh, he gets a great shot into Days. Days on 500 hit points. Axion on to 1,300. Days fluffs the shot onto Axion. Doesn't get it to pen. Axion is fully loaded. Days is a 2-shot, though. He's not a 1-shot. He is a 1-shot. Axion has got 1,300 hit points. Days is desperately holding on. It's a high roll. 450. Axion dropping his adrenaline. Trying to catch Days out. Days gets a great shot to Axion. Axion, however, is still effectively a 2-shot, possibly a 3-shot. Days is on 100 hit points. And it's all over. Wow. Wow. What a game. What a game. That was unreal. 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 Wowzers. What a game. Doesn't change anything. Doesn't change anything. They are still in the top 4. But Crowley, that is big. That is big for Crowley. Huge for Crowley. It brings them up and it gives them some much needed momentum. That is big. 4-3. Wowzers. Wowzers. Wow. Wow. What fantasticness that was. Doesn't change anything. Rejects are still in the top 4. APA is still in the top 4. Ikra is still in the top 4. Endgame are still in the top 4. But now Crowley will be joint points with Endgame. Wow. 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 So, there you go. Didn't see that coming. Anyway, that is the end of my stream now. Thank you all for coming and watching. I've still got 19 people watching, but there we go. So thank you for staying here, guys. I've been Fujit. That has been day 2 of the professional tour. We are back tomorrow with day 3. So until then, have a good rest of your evening, and I hope to catch you all later tomorrow. I might catch some of you tonight. I'm going to go out on Twitch in about 10 minutes, only for about an hour and a half. I'm not going to be too long out there, but love to see you pop in and maybe tune up for some games. Until then, guys, have a good one. Thank you for coming to see me. Thank you for supporting the tour and the stream, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye for now.